All right, I am going to do a podcast and talk about something a little bit different tonight. I've been experimenting with some basic level design concepts, kind of how to create challenges for the player, just based strictly on enemy placement, how that enemy interacts as the player gets near them, um, and that combined with various platforming elements that aren't too complex. The game is geared more towards exploration, um, but it's still a platformer, and I try to make it that by introducing different jumping skills the player has to deal with, along with like where you place the enemy, will definitely affect how the player has to handle certain jumps, basically. And different enemy placements can sometimes be traps. Like this one is set up here so that if a player goofs up their jump here and they didn't decide to deal with the enemies down here, they'll end up falling down into those enemies. So I've just been experimenting with different things like that, along with trying to get away at least a little bit from the just four sides for a level, and kind of do something a little bit more interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this, and then cut the video to where I start this level. Yeah, I get to record all this shit, huh? La, 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 la. Wee. Bitch missed me. Save. Die, 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 die. Woo. Okay, so we're getting to that area now. This is kind of the hub that leads to it. Again, in this room, trying to experiment, branching out a little bit, um, with kind of how everything rolls together. So in this room, I love this little jump right here because you're forced to deal with these enemies, and then this jump right here, like you could really screw yourself if you mess that up. And I mean, these enemies aren't very powerful, but it forces the player to think about. It's not just a mindless jump. You have to think about how the enemies are going to affect like your landing position, your jumping position, the trajectory that you need to take. And I kind of tried to throw that into here as well, so the enemies kind of follow you. So you kind of have to plan out a little bit for how you do things, and that's all in good fun. Like this guy's going to drop on my face. All right. I mean, it's not that complicated, but when everything comes together, it's more interesting than just like your basic square level, and that's really a lot of what I'm trying, just testing out the waters right now with that stuff. Kind of how do I trap the player? I mean, not in a really bad way that it's not fun, but in a way that if the player isn't thinking at least a little bit about what they're doing, then they're going to end up getting hurt a lot more than the players who do think about how they're tackling certain jump puzzles or whatnot. Anyway, just a fun little devlog for what's going through my mind as I'm deving a lot of this stuff out. Um, yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, and thanks for everybody who's been really showing us some love for this project, saying that it's interesting, that you like what we're doing. I really do appreciate that. Thanks for the love. Thanks for watching.